Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm back again. So this is going to be the last deck tech for older cards for a while, because obviously in a few days time we're going to have Brothers War released. So I'm going to do some preview videos. They start tomorrow, so keep your eyes open for them and I'll try and hashtag them all in. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, let me know what you think of this video today. But this is one of the decks that I've been wanting to build for a while. It's come up again. I did webinar about it quite a couple of months ago. Left it alone, mainly because some of the card prices have gone a bit through the roof, because it just happens like that on MTGO. Sometimes cards get popular, but they've all come down again now, and I figured it was the right time for me to build this deck. So let's talk about the deck. It's going back to a very old ability that I believe first saw light of play in the Urza Saga block from many years ago now, when I was actually first playing the game. But it got a new lease of life recently with Ikora as that happened. So here we go. Let me introduce you to Gavi, Nest Warden. There you go. 2 blue, red and white for a 2/5 human shaman. And you may pay 0 rather than paying the cycling cost of the first card you cycle each turn. And whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a 2/2 red and white dinosaur creature token. I'm not sure why I would have cat dinosaurs, but anyway, whatever, it's happening. We'll just get on with it and carry on. So, how's the deck going to be built? Well, it is going to be based around cycling. Yes, you can only, whenever you draw your second card, you get a 2/2 dinosaur cat, but you can draw your second card quite easily with this deck. So, the whole deck is right here. We'll start with the mana base. Mana base has a lot of dual lands in it, but also has a lot of lands that cycle. We have to go down that route because we want to be able to cycle into things, go down that route, and keep things happy. So I've got the new gates in, Clifftop Retreat appears, Command Tower, the old cycling desert lands from Amonkhet. Here, the original cycling lands from Urza Saga are here. I've also chucked in the stars, floodplains, so we can actually just try and get the things untapped. I've also played one of each of the basics just so we've got them in as well. There's no search land, sack land, so forth, but I figured if we've got one of each, it might give us a chance. For the ramp side of it, because we want to be doing the cycling as much as possible, Mox Tantalite, Soul Talisman, Mana Vault, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet are in. They're the main resources of ramp for the deck. I've also included, and then it's really about the cycling cards we've got on the deck and how we support those cycling cards. So some support cards: Astral Drift from Modern Horizons, Astral Slide from this one's Vintage Masters, but there's originally in the original cycling deck. And then alongside that, the creatures that came along when I can find them. So Valiant Rescuer from Ikoria, Janeth Stinger from Ikoria, and there should be another one somewhere. Savvy Thunder Mage as well. And also Lightning Rift, because we can pay the one when we cycle a card, we can ping shock things as we go along. And everything else in the deck really does go around the cycling side of it. But there's one card I have to point out, and that's Fluctuator. Fluctuator makes this deck tick. It reduces the cost of all your cycling down by 2 generic. And when you look, most of the cards in the deck have cycling of generic mana, or a large amount of mana in the case of this one. But yeah, we can cycle through things too. Some of the lands, the original cycling lands from Urza Saga are all 2, so it's worth doing it from that point of view. So it cuts our costs down and makes it a little bit cheaper for us to do. One of the things I need to point out is we have got creatures in here that absolutely no point in having them in apart from the cycling ability. So Disciple of Grace, unless you're playing a black deck, or Disciple of Law, unless someone's playing a red deck against you, you'll be cycling them away as soon as you draw them. But we do have 2 cards, Astral Drift and Astral Slide, I think are worth pointing out. If we can get some of our other creatures into play, having them come in and out of play really does help us with this deck. So we've got quite a few creatures that have comes into play abilities, which I think are really sort of like positive for the deck. So it's a little bit different. It doesn't rely 100% on cycling. So let's just go through some of the cards. Brands in, just because in case we do get things nicked. That's possible, we get more back, but we can cycle it for 2. I've included Elixir of Immortality because we are going to be churning through our deck quite quickly, and therefore we want to put everything back into our library from our graveyard at some stage, hence why this is here. Beyond that, we've got random cards that do random things all through the deck. Angel Song prevents damage, Renunciation taps up a couple of creatures. Impassioned Orator I'll point out because where we're going to be hopefully getting our creatures bouncing in and out, we'll gain some life off it. That's the reason that's in here. Valiant Rescuer, Cloud of Fairies, untap the land, cycle for 2, so on and so forth. Escape Protocol's in as well. It's also another way of exiling an artifact creature you control and return it to the battlefield. So, you know, another way of triggering things like with Astral Drift and Astral Slide. But Ominous Seas is really nice in this deck. If we can get it into play early, because we're going to be cycling so many cards, we're going to be putting a lot of counters on it, which means we can make the 8/8s that help us win. It's a red deck, Dockside's in, one of the targets for Escape Protocol or one of the 2 Astral cards, obviously. Lightning Rift as well, some of it I've gone through. Dismantling Wave is a really nice way of blowing up all the enchantments and artifacts, especially if you're getting behind. There's still a lot of enchantment decks kicking around on Commander at the moment, so bear that in mind. Inspiring Overseer is another target for the Astrals and the Protocol. Radiance Judgment helps, yeah, it's got cycling, that's fine, but it also helps deal with some of the big creatures we might have a problem dealing with otherwise. Complicated target counter stuff. Drake Haven to get some more spirits. Spirits? No, these are little 2/2 drakes when they come into play. Spell Snipe to counter. Fractured Sanity is going to be there for the milling, but it's quite nice when you cycle it. You can mill everyone's 4 cards. So if someone's sort of like manipulated the top of their library, this gives you a way of dealing with it. Dual Caster Mage is here purely because of Zenith Flare. Hopefully what we'll be able to do is cast Zenith Flare and Dual Caster Mage and get 2 copies of it, because hopefully we'll have a whole load of cycling cards in the graveyard. So this goes very good, this gets us to where we need to be very quickly. Cast Out, removal, cycling. Master of the Waves is a nice target. Although be aware, if you do play Master of the Waves, you do cycle out the elementals you've got in play already are dead. But it's a nice way of getting a whole load of blockers. So maybe you've played Master of the Waves, you've attacked with the elementals in 1 turn, you cycle a card, you Astral or Protocol it out of play. Those elements will die because they won't have any toughness. But then you'll come back in, you get a whole load new of elements. So yeah, helps a little bit with doing that. Curator of Mysteries is quite nice. Gives you a little bit of scry action when you're cycling, and it's a 4/4 for 4 as well, which is a very good value from my point of view. Porfrost, I put this in because we've got creatures coming in and out. Hopefully we're going to be sliding them in and out with the slide or the drift or the protocol. So, yeah, shooting everyone for 2 when that happens is pretty good. And Scampering Scorcher is a nice target as well. Comes in and out, gets you some more elemental creatures. Rooting Murlocs here, just purely because of the cycling effect. It's not that great a card. Volcanic Submersion for destroying the target's artifacts. Zealous Conscript is a lovely target, as you can imagine, for cycling in and out and bouncing in and out of play. It goes alongside with Agent of Treachery over yonder. Spellpire Phoenix is interesting because, you know, when it enters the battlefield, you may return a target instant or cycling sorcery card with cycling ability from your graveyard to your hand. And at the beginning of each end step, if you cycle 2 or more cards this turn, you get to return this when it dies to your hand. So it gives you a nice little recursion trigger going on. Unpredictable Cyclone is also another one of those interesting cards. Cycling an ability. If a cycling ability of another non-land card would cause you to draw a card, instead exile cards on the top of your library until you exile a card that shares a card type with the cycle card, you may then cast that card. So, you know, we've got ways of doing all sorts of things with this, which is nice. Cloud Blazer is purely a target for the Astrals and the Protocols. Gashole Hulk is interesting whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, gets +1/+1 until the end of turn. It can't be blocked. It does cycle away, but we do have Hollowed One as well, which can, you know, quite easily be a 4/4 on turn 2 with this deck. Seeing it happen. Archway Angels in as a target for the drifts and the protocol, because we have got a lot of gates in the game, so hopefully we'll gain some life. It will keep us in it. Winged Shepherd is purely to cycle. A 6 mana 3/3 flying with vigilance is rubbish, so cycle it as soon as you see it. This is one of the main targets. Chroma's Vengeance, keep the board under control. Hopefully it won't destroy too many other things, but if it does, we've got Sun Titan to bring them back, because the things we're worried about, like the slide and the drift and the protocol. And to a certain extent, Onymous Seas will come back with Sun Titan if we can get it into play, get Astral Drift back from our graveyard or Astral Slide and keep cycling it again. We'll be very happy. Anyway, new perspectives is in. As long as you have 7 or more cards in your hand, you may pay 0 rather than pay cycling costs. So it's like a built-on fluctuator, but it draws the 3 cards, which is nice. Floodwaters, not great value. Sorcery, 6 mana, bounce 2 creatures, just cycle it. I've put it in as a cycling card. Combustible Clear Hulk's in, just so we can back it target for our Astral Drift and Astral Slide. Slice and Dice is quite a nice little bit removal spell for 6 mana. And at the end of the day, if there's a lot of 1/1s kicking around, you can cycle it and deal 1 damage to everything and get a card out of it. Nearly at the end now, not many more to go. Ancestors Chosen is a fantastic target for Astral Drift. You will be cycling stuff. You get a life for each card in your graveyard. With the amount of things you're going to be cycling away, this is a really good way of doing it. Yoke Plough Beast is purely to cycle. 5/5 for 7 mana is awful, absolutely awful. So cycle it when you see it. Agent of Treachery, target for our drifts and our slide and our protocols. Ridge Ranet, same issue. 7 mana for a 6/4, cycle it when you see it. Herald of the Forgotten is very good. When Herald of the Forgotten enters the battlefield, if you cast it, return any number of target permanent cards with cycling abilities from your graveyard to the battlefield. Now, we have got a lot of lands that get cycled. We have got creatures that get cycled. This is just a fantastic little win more thing that gets all those cards back in your hand. Degree of Silence upsets people. I'll be honest about it, but it's really there for the cycling, and it gives you a nice little counterspell if you need it. Decree of Justice, you see me play a lot, and obviously Starstorm deals X damage to each creature, which is probably one of the better wrath effects in the game. Well, in this deck anyway. And that's it. That's my really short deck tech on Gavi, Nest Warden. Like I said, we're going to be talking more about Brothers War starting hopefully tomorrow. Obviously the cards won't be on MTGO, so I'm hoping by that stage MTG Goldfish have got most of the set uploaded onto their system, and I'll just have to do some deck techs using that. But you know, as soon as the stuff becomes available on MTGO, you'll see me playing it. I'll hopefully be kicking it off this week with a draft on Thursday night. I have enough play points saved up to do that, so come and watch me draft on Twitch. You can find the link down below in the description. But for now, thanks for watching this video about Gavi Nest Warden. Let me know in the comments what I've missed. Hit the subscribe button, which is now gone black into a little pill shape, I see. And hit the like button. But mainly, leave me some comments. Let me know. Tell more of your friends about my channel and help me get my numbers up a little bit. So, thank you for watching this, and I will see you the next time I'm doing something on the video. And that will be, hopefully, tomorrow. Take care. See you soon. Bye.